Order. All members are present. Please stand for pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next is delegation Josh Hardy.
Thank you for the opportunity to appear this evening for a delegation here. I'm kind of appearing, if you forgive me, I'm wearing two hats. I'm a parent. I'm also the LSIC president for the high school, so I'm kind of speaking in both of those realms. I'm here tonight to express what I can't say is more opposition than I've ever felt to what I think is a greatly misguided policy regarding communication in our school system. This looks to me like a vestige of the old Pocahontas County High School and the old Pocahontas County Board of Education. This is a vestige of what it was like when we had a superintendent who did not communicate with the board, with people, with anyone. This is something that I thought we were all getting away from. This is something that the state came in and told us all our communication stinks. We don't do a good job of it. Some of us even ran for this position on the board, promising to be a voice for the staff and teachers and to listen. This is not that. I would also like to hand out something that I think really needs to be brought to the board's attention, because I think it's a serious, we're going to hopefully call it a mistake.
Are you handing those out?
Yes,
I would like to say that I've sent a staff memo out that the policy 3112 that you're discussing will be pulled from the agenda. So probably comments on that are not necessary.
Well, I'm going to make them.
Okay.
What I've handed you is what is the current policy in place regarding staff communication. And the second page is the proposed policy as was drafted and I guess now being withdrawn. But let's look at the current policy, which has been in place since July 1st of 2020. And I want to make it very clear that I understand this board's concerned about chain of command, and it's important. And y'all know that. And that's why this policy was put in place in 2020 to try to encourage that the chain of command be obeyed. But this policy regarding communication, this is an advisory policy. It is not a mandatory one. And the language is plain and simple in it, and you can read it because it says that that staff members should preferably submit their communications through the board. It does not require them to. It says they should. If there's any doubt about that, the third paragraph, the communication protocol, and I highlighted this in green, should not be construed to prohibit direct communication by staff members with members of the board. Now I want you to all look at the policy that was now being withdrawn. But as you have proposed that policy, you will notice that very, very important language should not be construed to prohibit direct communication by staff members with members of the board. It's not even on your proposed policy. In other words, whoever drafted your proposed policy didn't even include the right language of the old policy that was being changed. And the reason why the old policy works and why it's constitutional is because it clearly states that you cannot prohibit direct communication between staff and the board. You can't do that. And that policy makes that clear. The new policy that you are now withdrawing simply forgot about that. So I'd like to think that the person who drafted this just made a mistake and did a bad job. I sure would hate to think that they intentionally left that language off to misguide and misinform the board. But it's that type of communication that we're talking about. Two more things and I'm going to get out of your hair. To get on the delegation tonight, I called the superintendent's office yesterday and sent an email to get on. I was informed that I had to be here in person at least 15 minutes tonight to make this delegation. That is a complete departure from how we've done things. I know you guys are probably sick of me being here in this delegation, but every time I have always emailed somebody a day or two before and requested that. I would also note that on tonight's agenda, it states very clearly that you can provide written communication ahead of time to inform the staff that you wish to be on the delegation. So somebody made a change without this board's approval and without telling anyone in the community. And to basically now say that community members, just to speak to you, have to show up here, essentially leave wherever they are, now half an hour, even more, so that they can be certain to be here by 5:45. That's ridiculous. Board members are allowed to participate and vote by over electronic means as long as they can be seen and heard. And there's no reason why members of the public should have the same benefit. And if you're going to require us to be here, I'm speaking also as the PSC, so I'd like my last comment. The special meeting that you're holding on Friday is a travesty. To call that a special meeting about the high school, not even inform the LSIC, and hold that on 9 a.m. on Friday, that's an absolute travesty, and that's disgusting, and you guys need to do a better job. Thank you.
Ramona Hardesty.
My name is Ramona Hardy, and I'm a senior at Pocahontas County High School, and I'm very, very disappointed in the state of our school. I'm here today to speak for myself and my classmates. We feel as though our Board of Education has let us down. At PCHS, there is currently no full-time counselor. There is no direct answers as to who to put on my college applications, no one familiar with the websites used to apply to college, and no sense of stability or care. Why is hiring a counselor not a priority to the Board of Education? You find the time to hire a new superintendent, to renovate the board office. Meanwhile, our school is not properly staffed. West Virginia state law requires schools to have a full-time counselor. Your administrative agenda has taken priority over the students. In my 4 years at the high school, we have had 4 principals. This year, the high school administration felt very strong and secure. They listened, they learned, and they did everything they could to ensure that we were successful. But now we have lost another great principal. I had hoped that our new superintendent and elected board members would improve our school system and fix the issues and listen to the people. Clearly, I was wrong. Staff, students, and parents should be able to speak to our board members and feel heard. I should be able to go to school and not be worried about having no counselor to verify my college applications. The definition of a Board of Education is a governing body that represents the community's interest in public education. I hope that each of you take your jobs very seriously because it directly affects real people. The fact that a policy to stop communication between board members and faculty was even proposed is an embarrassment. Communication is what holds us all together. I hope that this board understands moving forward the level to which your decisions matter. We are watching, we are listening, and we will not back down until our voices are heard and our education becomes a priority to you. Morale has never been this low at my school. In the past 2 years, we have lost 2 very capable principals. The common denominator lies with you. Aside from Mr. Gibson, I cannot recall the last time I saw any board member in my classroom watching our teachers doing what they are already so underappreciated for. Where are any of you when we can't get substitutes for classes and teachers are forced to cover classes and lose their plannings? As a student, I am taking the time out of my evening to come here and ask you to do better. Your actions determine mine moving forward. I would love to call this place somewhere that I can be proud of. It's been a long-term goal of mine to come back here after I get my degree and start my family. With the decisions you are making regarding education in this county, I don't think that's going to be my reality. Do not let us use another valuable member of our county. Make decisions that will push us forward and help our children succeed. I would love to be in a school where the board supports us and gives students the priority. Let's move forward with transparency before we let lose sight of what's important, and please do not make the same mistake twice. Thank you.
Joey Van Meter.
Most of you know me by now. For community members who may not, my name is Joseph Van Meter, and I served as the student representative during the 2024-2025 school year. I intended to serve again for the 2025 school year, though that process was understandably disrupted during the state of emergency and leadership transition. I want to begin by saying that I've developed a deep love for West Virginia. I moved here from New Jersey, convinced I would never truly embrace Appalachia, but I was wrong. I'm proud to live here. I'm proud of Appalachian roots, values, and traditions. However, I cannot say I'm fully proud of the state of public education in Pocahontas County. I've not experienced a stable year of high school since my freshman year, and I'm now a senior. During my sophomore year, students faced the potential loss of valued teachers. We organized, protested, and spoke up about students that should not feel uncertain about whether programs or educators that will still exist the following year. My junior year, we had 2 principals and no vice principal for the second semester. This year, we have lost a principal, currently have a temporary principal, and may soon have another, depending on whether the position is posted. That amounts to 5 principals in 4 years of high school. In that same period, our county has had 3 superintendents. This level of turnover creates more than inconvenience. It creates instability. Constant leadership changes result in shifting priorities, inconsistent policy enforcement, and increased stress for students, staff, and families who are continually asked to adapt to new expectations. Schools cannot move forward when they are consistently trying to regain their footing. One very real consequence of this instability is currently affecting seniors applying to college. Many colleges require a mid-year report as part of their application process. The individual responsible for submitting transcripts and recommendations for the Common App is no longer in that role. Because students cannot remove a listed school administrator from their application, teachers and our counselor have had to coordinate directly with Common App to find workarounds so students can meet deadlines. This is not a hypothetical issue. It is happening right now, and it places unnecessary stress on students during an already critical time. At the same time, we continue to face shortages of certified teachers and a counseling system stretched across multiple schools. These conditions do not improve student outcomes, nor do they make our county more attractive to new families, educators, or administrators. I would also like to briefly address proposed policy 3112, even though it's not on the agenda. You have 30 days after, I believe, December 19th to comment. At this time, when our county is experiencing significant leadership turnover, requiring communication to pass through a single administrative panel risks reducing transparency rather than strengthening it. If the intent of the policy is awareness and coordination, I urge consideration of language that allows our staff to communicate with both board members and the superintendent simultaneously, rather than requiring concerns to go through one gatekeeper first. Students notice instability. We feel it in our classrooms, in our counseling office when we have a counselor, and in moments that directly affect our future. What we need most is consistency, transparency, and leadership structures that prioritize communication rather than restricting it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jason. Recognitions. A, Pocahontas County All-State Fall Athletics. That's gonna be cool.
Yes.
Okay. And the other one too, the recognition of professional and service staff.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Okay, we're going down to number 5. Is a special education report on comprehensive coordination early intervention services, CCEIS.
Okay, so in your packet, you have, if you turn back a few pages, you have the West Virginia Department of Education on, this is our disproportionality report. And your disproportionality report is a risk analysis report based on ratios and disproportions in racial and ethnic groups. In West Virginia, and LEA is identified as having significantly disproportionately identified people by ratios. If you have any subgroup that's listed on this for 3 or more years, you have to propose a plan. As you can see, if you look down through all of our subgroups, the first one being white, for 22, 23, 24, 25, we did not meet the threshold of 3. If you go down to the next group of subgroups identified by category, autism, emotionally disturbed, intellectually disturbed, other health impaired, speech and language impairment, specific learning disability, we did not have any that were identified for 3 or more years in that area. Moving on to the racial and ethnic group, and this is about discipline in our school system. We did not have any areas. Racial groups, we did not have any areas. And then when we go to the total ethnic groups across all 3 years, we did not have any areas. So I think this is a really great thing for our county, especially in special ed, that we did not meet any of those thresholds. Some counties did, but we did not. So very pleased to report that out.
Autism is now
It's a subgroup on special ed.
Item number 6 on the agenda is consent agenda items, approval of agenda, approval of the agenda minutes for November the 18th, 2025 to December the 2nd, 2025 and December 16th, 2025. Payment of bills subject to additions, deletions, or other changes prior to the board meeting. A, payment of vendor listing, $179,509.86. B, payment of the P card, $112,524.24. December 17th, 2025 employee payroll, $287,531.30. D is extra duty pay for November 2025, $40,894. E is bank consolidation. Grant awards, budget adjustments, and budget transfers and supplements subject to additions, deletions, or other changes prior to the board meeting. Do I have a motion? Mr. McCombs made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll say.
Mr. Gibson seconded. Any questions on any of these that we have to go off?
Extra duty pay, that should be called, but it's separate things.
Okay, we will do that. Any other ones that anybody has any questions about on this one? All right, we're gonna pull D, which is extra duty pay for November 2025, and let the record show that we're gonna vote on all of them first. So all those in favor of them signify by saying aye. Okay, now, we're gonna vote on extra duty pay and let the record show that Mr. McCombs has recused himself. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Motion carries. You can now come back, Mr. McCombs. Number 7 is personnel matters.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion. We go into executive session for personnel matters.
Mr.
Second that.
Mr. McNabb has made the motion to go on into executive session on a personnel matter, and Mr. Gibson has seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. We will now go into Mr. McCombs made the motion. Do I have a second? Mr. Gibson seconded. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Motion carried. Out of executive session at 6:40. Personnel matters. Ollie?
Campbell Principal, Pocahontas County High School, resigns her position effective June 30th, 2026, due to retirement. Jennifer Stewart, teacher of alternative education at Marlington Middle School, pending a successful background check. And then we had the addition of Tom Sanders as the
As a substitute principal.
substitute principal for Pocahontas County High School, again, effective pending successful background check. We still have the open positions. Service recommendations, we have Queen Brea, Secretary to the County of Pocahontas County, resigns her position effective December 31st, 2025. We have Melissa Taylor, interim head coach for girls basketball, Greenbank Elementary Middle School, for the remainder of the 25-26 school year. Becky Fatigue is interim $1 coach for the girls basketball team, again for the remainder of the year. We have Kirby Barlow as the $1 coach of the boys basketball team, Arlington Middle School, effective for the remainder of the 25-26 school year. We also have the following substitute secretary accountants. And some of these came about, we were having trouble with our Identigo in case being able to get our background check. So some of these were added in after we received those background check fees. The following substitute secretary accountant for Pocahontas County Schools at state basic personnel salary for the 25-26 school year is needed. Brenda Murphy and Amber Sharp, and then also Amber Sharp as a substitute aide. We also have the 21st century grant position upon the adequate number of students for the teacher at Greenbank to be Patricia Clark.
Any questions on personnel? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Superintendent updates.
First thing I wanted to update everybody on is our bus routes for snow days. And I asked Ms. Hammonds if she could pull those up for us and show those where those are on the website. We have revived our bus route. I don't think they've been used for a couple of years, maybe 2-3 years. But I spoke with Mr. Gibson, and there are some days that we could have school and just run our snow routes that we've had in the past. So I wanted the public to know where the snow routes are. Posted on our website so that when we send this notification out, you'll know where to locate it. We will also send out an announcement that snow routes have been posted on the Pocahontas County website. Do you have any questions about the snow routes or comments? Okay. And then I would also like to address the public. I have a statement to read. I've already addressed the Pocahontas County School staff. So I want to address the misinformation circulating about the recent proposed policy revision to 3112. This proposed revision does not restrict staff or citizens from speaking individually with elected board members. Rather, it is rooted in the concerns arising from the West Virginia Department of Education state of emergency and the erosion of chain of command. As your leader in the school system, I am committed to keeping Pocahontas County Schools on the right track and addressing issues stemming from the West Virginia Department of Education state of emergency, including clarifying and enforcing chain of command and establishing a communication structure that supports that. I respect the challenges faced by Pocahontas County Board of Education and staff and students during the special circumstance review, which includes, as we have heard tonight, board superintendent relationships, central office communication with our schools, school support, and special education compliance. I am mindful of the distress our county has endured and have worked to ensure transparency in reporting and decision-making in all things that I am doing. Those times of poor communication and lack of transparency are behind us. Together, we are building a stronger system with common practices, clear communication, high expectations, and policy-driven decision-making. This will foster a better working climate for our staff, a healthier culture, and an evidence-based organization focused on serving our students. I understand this is not every answer will be what our folks have hoped to hear, but we must accept the outcomes and move forward together. So I want to talk a little bit about the policy and what was in the policy. The policy has existed since 2020. So social interactions, the policy reads, staff and board members may discuss general education matters informally at all social events, any social events. However, board members cannot act on behalf of the board except by quorum in open session and when specifically authorized. It is unacceptable for individual board members to discuss personal grievances or personnel grievances or complaints if established procedures exist. West Virginia Code 6C-2 and State Policy 7211 deals with the grievance process and the complaint process. Those are outlined. Communication, all official Pocahontas County Schools business communication from staff to board and its committees should preferably be submitted through the superintendent, who will forward them within 7 days upon receipt. If the staff member chooses communication directly with the board, the message must be sent to all the board members and copied to superintendent. Please note the proposed policy revision only changed one section. If a staff member chooses to communicate directly with the board regarding county business, then that communication should be sent to all board members and the superintendent should be copied as well. Out of concern for the health of our county, I will remove this proposed revision from the agenda. My goal is to unite our county and our school system. We will enforce chain of command, but we will not do it at the expense of the relationships. And this policy, if it is that strongly felt about, we can remove it. I consistently maintain an open door practice, and I'm always willing to meet with staff and citizens to discuss issues and solve problems. Again, strong leadership means there are times I cannot provide the answer that folks want to hear, but the guidance will always be rooted in policy. As a final thought, I am truly grateful for each staff member, for each community member in our county. I know that great progress is occurring in our school system and will continue to occur. A quote that seems fitting as we begin our second semester and start the new calendar year: the secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but building the new. Socrates. We are stronger together when we work together, pull together, and understand the parameters of how our organization functions. Thank you. That's all I have.
Number 9 is old business, discussion or action of policy 5223, absence for religious ordinance or an instruction, second reading. B is discussion and action of 3112, board staff communication, second reading.
That one's pulled off.
That's the one we pulled.
Mhm.
And the third one is discussion action policy 7540-02, digital contents and accessibility, the second reading. Do I have a motion?
They moved.
Mr. McCombs made a motion. Do I have a second?
Yeah.
Dr. Hollingsworth seconded. Any questions on any old business?
Getting some replies on policy.
Most of our replies was on 3112, so I pulled that.
Any other questions?
That was a great question.
Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Uh,
Motion carries. New business, approval of fundraisers, approval of out-of-county out of state and overnight field trips, discussing action, early retirement incentives, $500 for personnel and personnel services and other professional personnel to be paid for from local funds. D, discussion independent school audits by Education Consulting Team LLC. E is discussion and action, federal guidance to adjust standard mileage travel reimbursement from 70 cents a mile to 72.5. How's that supposed to read, Sarah? 7.25? 0.725. Do I have a motion? Motion.
To move.
Holmes made a motion. Have a second.
I'll say.
Mr. McNabb, second. Any questions on this one? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. No,
It's okay.
I was looking to
I'm
see.
just gonna ask,
Go ahead.
just this $500 is the same as we've been doing.
It's the
over-
same as you've been doing, but then we only get it for professionals, so you have to approve it for the service.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah, favorite part. Okay. Board members' remarks. Mr. McCombs.
I really don't have anything tonight.
Dr. Hollingsworth.
No, things are so chaotic in my life, that it's hard for me to not feel chaotic about this. But I think regardless of what some of you think, you know, we're doing the best we can with what we have to work with. And trying hard to please as many people as we can, while at the same time doing what's legal.
You also would ask for a moment of silence for John Burns.
So,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
and also, we would like to ask for a moment of silence for John Burns. He served on this board for 4 years and made a big difference while he was on.
If we could we have that now? Mr. Gibson.
Holidays, you know, 2 weeks. Chat was energized to come back to school, our students, and bring them. We're at number 6, school day, snow day number 6 right now.
Yes, Mr. Nixon.
Okay. Got Snow packets are going, that's all going good.
Snow packets are out.
All right. That's really all I have. I mean, I want to encourage everybody to just do their best. That's what I'm doing. But thank you.
Mr. McNabb.
I just got a couple of things. One thing I keep hearing from here and from the public is about transparency. Okay, I can assure you that we are being as transparent as we possibly can and stay legal. I can assure you that. If that'll put any of your minds to rest. Mr. Hardy, you know, there's things you can't discuss. You know, if we can't, if there's things we can't discuss, it's legal. Okay, we can get in trouble. And we don't need any more trouble, okay? The other thing that I think we need to look at is we keep, you know, since I've come on here, there were a lot of problems. There's still a lot of problems, but we are making progress. You know, like I say, I think I said it one other time, how to eat an elephant, one bite at a time, okay? And things just keep coming up. This problem is going deeper and deeper and deeper. And please be patient. Dr. Williams has all of our support and she's doing the very best that she can. And we're going to get it fixed. You know, I don't know how long this has been going, 20, 30 years. Okay. And Dr. Williams comes in, how long have you been here now? How many months?
About 6 months.
6 months.
Not
Okay.
long.
And we're still finding stuff. Every day she deals with something instead of what we're working on that stuff instead of trying to get a quality education for our kids. We can't do that because we're trying to fix stuff that went on 20 years ago. a year ago. Okay? Please be patient. But I can assure you, we are doing all we can. I know you're sitting there shaking your head, Ramon, but I guarantee you we are. I ask you to be patient and work with it. And as far as the policy, there is nothing in that policy says that you can't talk to me. There's nothing in there. Anyway, I have read it. I have read it over and over and over. There is nothing in there that says you can't. You go through the correct chain of command. Whenever I worked for the power company, I had a chain of command. Any big company, any big outfit, you go through the proper process and you get to the board members. We're the last ones. Okay? That's how it works. In the real world, we want to talk real world. We want to talk fantasy land. Fantasy land is I get to do whatever I want, change whatever I want, make whatever rule I want. We're not in fantasy land. We're in the real world. Okay? That's all I got. Thank you, Dr. Williams.
Thank you.
The decisions that comes before this board is hard. They're hard decisions for us. We try and we suffer over these to make the right call. Being under the state of emergency, it has put extra pressure on all of us, especially the five of us, and Dr. Williams, because she come in the middle of this. Whenever we was hiring a superintendent, we was looking for somebody that had been through the ranks and somebody and she come recommended by Howard O'Call and a lot of them to come in to fix our problems. She's worked for the state. She knows what they're going to ask for. But these decisions that we're making is not easy on any of us. And I get messages off of Facebook every day. I don't always respond to them because the more you talk about it, the more they come back. I heard, well, they're redoing the board office. Nobody voted for the board office. You elected us. We voted to fix the board office because the state told us we had to fix the board office.
Yeah.
We also put a new floor in the gym. We painted the gym. We fixed the offices at Pocahontas County High School. We fixed the bathrooms at Pocahontas County High School. That was all on one agenda that we all voted on. We are elected, the five of us, to represent the citizens of Pocahontas County, and we take it very seriously. You know, whenever you say, well, you have 2 meetings a month, that's not how it works. We are on the phone 2 or 3 nights a week with different things going on in the community. You know, and maybe a teacher's upset, or maybe it's a parent that's upset with the teacher, but we do have to follow chain of command. We do have to do that because you don't start at the top and go down, you start at the bottom and go up. And that's what we need to do. But we take these decisions seriously that we have to make. And I want you all to do that. And what Mr. McNabb said is absolutely true. There's a lot of stuff that the state law will not let us talk about. And it worries us because, you know, sometimes you're saying you're not being transparent. We can't be. And we don't want to tell you a story. We just can't say anything about it. So that's the way it is whenever you're sitting on the Board of Education, and it's not always easy.
Wait, would it be appropriate for me to say
Yes,
something to the students? I have been at your school the last 2 days, multiple occasions. I've talked to Ms. Bland specifically about several of you. I assure you, every avenue is being pursued to make sure no ball hits the ground. I am personally coming and overseeing that. That has not happened in the past. You will not get your college stuff submitted. We are in the process. If it's not already done, Ms. Bland had already taken care of it. And I believe she had talked to some of you students, right? So we are on top of it. And I hate this for you. This is a terrible situation you're in. And when you spoke about the last several years, I would not have wanted this for my child. But I want better for that school system, for our school system, and I want better for you. And if you feel like something's dropping the ground and Miss Bland's not taking care of it, your parents, I've talked to Miss Burt Kinderman on multiple occasions. She can walk into my office and say, I'm concerned and I will help you. I am here for you. I love the school. I love the students. When I came in and saw how your school looked, I started working right away to give you a better environment. So if you need me, when I'm there, stop me and talk to me. Because I've been there every day this week. I'll be gone the next 2 days, but I'll be back up on Friday. If you need me, come see me.
All right. Our next Board of Education meeting will be held on January 20th, 2026 at Pocahontas County Board Office Conference Room at 6 p.m. We are hereby adjourned.